The afternoon sun pressed on the tin roofs of Nilgiri colony like a heavy hand. The water tap by the banyan tree coughed, spat, and fell silent. People lined up with steel pots and plastic buckets, waiting for the next thin stream. Meera stood there with a cracked yellow can. She was 20, hair tied tight, sweat rolling down her neck. Beside her, her little brother Arjun balanced a school bag with one broken strap. "Didi, will the water come?" he asked. "It will," she said. Someone had to say it. Across the lane, a scooter rattled by. A milk seller called out. The air smelled of dust, fried pakoras, and the old drain. Their mother, Savita, had gone for overtime at the garment factory. Their father had left years back. People had stories about where he went. Meera stopped asking. A missing person becomes a shape that steals your sleep. The tap woke and gave a thread of water. People pushed. Meera kept calm. When her turn came, she held the can steady. Arjun filled his bottle. "Don't waste a drop," she said. Back home they entered their single room, a sheet dividing stove and bed. A small fan spun, noisy and weak. On the wall was a magazine cut out of a wide blue river. Meera had never seen such water. Arjun took out homework. "I have to write what I want to be," he said. "What do you want to be?" "A bus driver. They look free. They go everywhere." Meera smiled. "Then write about the routes, the people, the city waking up." He looked at her. "Can I write about you? I want to be kind like you." She looked away so he wouldn't see her eyes. "Write what makes your hand move fast." Evening came orange. Savita entered, fingers smelling of machine oil. "Leftover khichdi," she said, pushing a tiffin toward them. They ate, quite. A train wailed far away. Then Savita began her daily stories: broken needles, angry supervisors, a girl who fainted, somehow told with humor, as if laughter could cut the weight into smaller pieces. After dinner, Meera scrubbed plates, then opened her notebook. She practiced typing on a borrowed phone. She copied simple English lines from free videos. She wanted a front desk job with air conditioning and bright lights and people who said, "Good morning," and meant it. Night spread soft and thin. Mosquitoes sucked small sharp songs. Sleep came late, left early. At dawn colored like milk tea, Meera rose. She lit the weak flame, made chai and 2 dry parathas, packed one for Arjun, wrapped a scarf around her hair, and went to work. 6 hours each morning at a sweet shop on the main road, wipe counter, wrap laddus, count coins. The owner, Mr. Patel, nodded in a way that meant nothing. One day a woman in a blue sari sprinkled with silver dots came in. 2 kilos rasgullas, she said, smiling. "NGO camp today. We'll celebrate after." Her name was Leela. Her eyes were sharp but kind. Meera wrote the bill. "Do you study?" Leela asked. "I finished school. Now I work. If you ever want computer basics, come to our center. Free." She slipped Meera a flyer. "Near the bus depot." That night Meera showed the flyer to Savita. "Go," Savita said. "Even if you learn only 10 words, go." So each afternoon Meera walked to the NGO. The room had a strong fan and 3 tired desktops. On the walls, charts about nutrition, hand washing, ATMs. Meera learned to open a document, type her name, save a file. She learned email. Seeing her own words on a screen felt like finding a window in a solid wall. Leela gave her extra worksheets and asked her to help older women. "It's like a spoon," Meera said, guiding a hand to the mouse. "Hold it and the screen listens." Sometimes Arjun sat in a corner with a comic, happy in the quiet buzz of fans and keys. He liked watching his sister explain things. Then the heat wave came. The sweet shop fridge died. Sweets sagged into sorrow. Mr. Patel shouted till his voice turned rough. Meera kept packing, counting, and telling customers, "We'll fix it." Her patience was a habit now. One evening as she shut the shutter, a delivery boy stopped. "Know anyone fast? Our cloud kitchen needs help." "What kitchen?" "Only online orders. Packing." "I can pack," she said. Upstairs above a tire shop, the air smelled of garlic and tomatoes. Meera learned to seal boxes so tight that all couldn't escape. Ticket slips taught her dish names: millet ball, lemon rice, paneer tikka roll. The manager, a young woman with short hair, watched Meera's neat stacks and said, "Nice work." Meera carried the words home like a new coin. Life moved in small steps, one more shortcut on the computer, one more dish, one more neighbor she greeted by name. Arjun grew taller and won a school prize for a painting of buses at a busy signal. He drew each bus like a friend. Then trouble knocked, as it does when people finally breathe easy. Savita's factory cut workers. "Come back when we call," the supervisor said. The call never came. The rice jar grew echoey. Meera counted coins at night while Arjun slept. She asked Mr. Patel for more hours. He had cousins. She asked the cloud kitchen for evening shifts. "Heavy work," the manager warned. "I can do it," Meera said. Weeks blurred, dawn laddus, evening boxes, late-night feet on fire. The fan at home whined but the rice jar stayed less empty, school fees stayed paid. One afternoon Arjun burst in. "Didi, my teacher's sister works at a call center. They need someone for simple English and Hindi. A bridge you can see but haven't stepped on is still a bridge." The call center glass doors shone like still water. Meera wore a plain kurta and borrowed sandals that squeaked. She sat in the waiting area, where a TV showed a shampoo ad. A man with a badge called her name. He spoke English. Meera answered in simple lines. "Yes, I can handle customers. In shop I listen. I solve. I speak calm." He smiled. 3-month training. Small stipend. Pass, and salary starts. Thank you, thank you, thank you, she thought. Training taught scripts and breathing when people shout. Repeat the problem. Find steps. Explain simply. The headset felt strange. The keyboard felt like a city map. Meera wrote new words and stuck them on the wall near the fan. Issue, resolve, escalate, refund, policy. Savita listened and said, "Your voice sounds like a teacher." One evening a woman called, angry and tired, parcel sent to the wrong city. Meera listened and said, "I will follow the path for you." The sentence came from a story Savita had told, about twigs on a mountain. She found the mistake, rerouted the parcel, called back, and explained like a neighbor at a bus stop. The woman's voice softened. "Thank you. I finally understand." After 3 months Meera passed. A blue ribbon ID hung on her neck like a small sky. The salary wasn't big, but it was steady. The canteen dal tasted like home. She exhaled a long thread of worry. Less of Meera at the sweet shop meant Mr. Patel hired his cousin. The cloud kitchen manager texted, "Proud of you. Visit." Leela took Meera's photo for the NGO wall, from first email to first job. But life never stops because one person finds a chair. The city keeps running. Then the sky broke. After months of heat, rain hammered the colony. Drains choked. Lanes turned into brown rivers. Water climbed over thresholds like an uninvited guest. Cold woke Meera at her toes. Arjun squealed. Savita lifted the trunk. Outside, people shouted, moved cots, lost slippers. Meera wrapped the documents in plastic, laughed once at the useless sheet dividing the room, and stepped into the water. She held hands, made a human chain to the school's raised steps. "Come," she shouted. Hold each other. Small steps. Back and forth she went, guiding, calling names, matching faces, keeping her voice steady like the trainer had taught. A little boy cried from a corner. She found him and put him into his mother's arms. By dawn, the rain slowed. No one from their row was hurt. People shared wet biscuits and hot tea made on a carried-up stove. Savita touched Meera's face. You turned water into a road. A local reporter arrived later. People pointed at Meera. She spoke simply to the camera. We held hands. When we hold hands, even bad water becomes less. The video went small viral. The call center manager called Meera in. We want you to lead a new batch, she said. You explain so people understand. Team lead came with a tiny raise, more respect, and brand new headaches. It taught Meera to say, we, more than, I. At home, they printed Arjun's scholarship form for an art camp. Windows like open eyes, he said about the studio photo. Savita started a microtailoring shop from their room, Savita Tailors, alterations done scrawled on a cardboard sign. Neighbors came with blouses and school uniforms. The fan worked harder, as if proud. On Sundays, Meera taught a short class at the NGO, subject, body, attachment on the whiteboard. An older woman asked, what if they laugh at my English on the phone? Let them laugh, Meera said. Laughing is cheap. Your courage is costly. Write your points. Speak slowly. Call again if you need. Weeks walked into months. Arjun got into the drawing camp. He drew buses with faces and bridges with soft edges. Meera's team learned to handle callers who came like storms or lost birds. They learned to say, I don't know yet, but I will find out. Then the city surprised them. The call center announced an internal contest. Tell a true problem you solved outside work. Prize, a tablet. Meera wrote about the flood night, a chain of hands, a stove on a school step, not as a hero but as one neighbor among many. She won. Arjun loaded a drawing app and drew a bus with wings. Sometimes even buses want to fly, he said. Then we give them a runway, she said. A week later, the reporter's video reached a small foundation that funded community leaders. Leela called, excited. They want to meet you, she said. They give seed money for tiny ventures. Meera almost said no. Money scared her more than water. But she went. She wore a simple kurta, spoke simple sentences, and showed simple math. If we teach 10 women basic phone skills and customer helplines, they can do part-time remote work, she said. If we buy 2 second-hand laptops and 1 decent phone, we can run a weekend practice desk. We can also teach simple complaint tracking for our own area, water, lights, ration card issues. A small help desk for the basti. The foundation people listened. They asked crisp questions. Meera answered with the calm of headset training. They gave a small grant. Not huge, but for them it felt like rain over a thirsty field. They rented a tiny room near the bus depot. Meera named it Sky Road's desk. The sign was hand-painted by Arjun, with a little bus at the corner. They bought 2 second-hand laptops, 1 basic printer, and 1 new phone. Leela helped with forms. Savita stitched chair covers from fabric scraps, bright as sweet boxes. Women came. Some shy, some loud, some laughing too much to hide nerves. Meera taught them to speak to angry callers, to fill forms, to write subject lines, to keep notes. They practiced with real local problems first: leaky streetlights, clogged drains, ration cards not updated. They made polite calls, logged complaint numbers, and followed up. People in the colony started saying, "Go to Sky Roads. They will explain your issue and call again if needed." A local delivery company heard about Sky Roads. Their support line was drowning. They tried the desk for an evening shift pilot, 2 hours, 10 women, simple calls. The women did well. The company extended the hours and paid small stipends. The room's fan was new now. The rent was paid from work, not donations. Meera kept the call center day job for a while, then moved part-time to the desk, training and supervising. In the evenings she still took a few escalated calls for the company, tough ones where a soft, steady voice mattered. Money stopped whispering fear. It began to talk in lists: rent, school fees, milk, medicines, savings. Savita's tailoring stacked neatly in a trunk that had once been empty. Arjun's drawings filled a folder. He drew a poster for Sky Roads, hands joined, lines turning into light. One afternoon the foundation invited Meera to a city event. She stood on a small stage with other women, one who ran a tiffin line, one who fixed phones, one who taught cycling to girls. Meera spoke about listening, notes, follow-ups, and how a calm voice is a tool. After the talk, a soft-spoken man from a bigger company came to her. "We have a program for community microcenters," he said. "We can outsource some support tasks. We'll train and pay fairly. Would you like to try a 6-month contract?" "Yes," Meera said, but her mind added, "small steps." They signed. The desk grew into 2 rooms. 3 new laptops. A wall of sticky notes. A whiteboard. A little fridge for water bottles. Meera trained a trainer. She taught women to teach, which turned out to be the richest thing she had learned. Then something Meera never expected happened. The council approved a low-cost housing project. Because Sky Roads had registered and paid taxes. Because it created local employment, because the flood video and help desk logs showed work for the neighborhood, Meera was offered a discounted unit in a new building, not for free, but with a loan she could now pay. The day she got the keys, the elevator mirror showed a face she almost didn't recognize. Tired, yes, but standing taller. The new flat had 2 small rooms, a window, and a steady tap. Meera turned the tap and laughed softly at water arriving without a fight. Savita ran her hand over the plain kitchen counter as if it were silk. Arjun traced the window frame like a picture he could live inside. They didn't leave the colony behind. Sky Roads stayed where it started. But at night Meera slept under a ceiling fan that hummed like a happy bee, not a tired cricket. She made chai in a kitchen that didn't flood. She paid the loan each month. Rich did not mean diamonds and cars. It meant time to breathe, choice to say yes or no, quiet taps, books for Arjun, and work that did not break the back. News traveled. A girl from a lane without drains now ran a help desk with contracts and receipts. People messaged for advice. Meera replied with the same 5 words: small steps, clear notes, call back. One evening she stood on the old school steps where they had sheltered from the flood. The lane below was the same, but also not the same. A street lamp worked. A new drain cover sat where the hole had been. A girl in a green scarf walked toward the Sky Roads room with a folder under her arm. Savita came and stood beside her. "What does Rich feel like?" she asked, teasing. Meera looked at her hands, ink stains, tiny cuts healed, a new watch bought on discount. She smiled. "Rich feels like enough chairs, enough time to fix a mistake, enough light to see the form, enough water to make tea for a guest." Savita nodded. "Rich also feels like not counting spoons." They laughed. A soft wind touched their faces. Somewhere, someone played an old film song. The city kept its secrets and also gave a few away. That night Meera dreamed of Arjun's winged bus again, but now the bus had seats with nameplates. Leela, Savita, Asha madam from the cloud kitchen, the council plumber who finally fixed the pipe, the stern trainer who taught her to breathe, the older women who learned to hold the mouse like a spoon. The bus flew not to escape, but to map new roads over the old ones. Morning came bright and a little cool, like metal in shade. Meera packed Arjun's sketchbook, checked Sky Roads invoices, and texted 3 trainees, "You are doing well. Today we practice refunds and calm voices." She placed a small plant near the new flat's window and watered it just enough. On her way out, she touched the blue ribbon ID in her drawer, the first one, faded now, and smiled. She locked the door, walked down the stairs, and stepped into a day that used to scare her and now simply waited for her to begin. "Small steps," she whispered to the city. "We're still walking."